When managing kidney disease, dietary guidance can be confusing, especially for those with chronic kidney disease, CKD. Commonly asked questions include whether it's better to follow a low-sodium diet, eat more potassium, or avoid it entirely. Patients often feel uncertain about what's truly beneficial for their kidneys. In this article, we'll address the dietary management that people with kidney disease often struggle with, focusing on the most critical nutrients such as sodium, protein, and potassium. When kidney function declines, waste products and electrolytes are not efficiently excreted, leading to imbalances in electrolytes. This increases the risk of complications such as edema, hypertension, uremia, and bone diseases. A poor diet can worsen these conditions, so careful management of nutrients is crucial. Dietary recommendations for kidney patients should be individualized. They depend on factors like the person's nutritional status, kidney function, whether they are undergoing dialysis, have received a transplant, or are taking specific medications. Therefore, the dietary approach must be customized based on each person's unique needs. For individuals with chronic kidney disease who have not yet started dialysis, there are 4 key nutrients to pay attention to: sodium, protein, and potassium. Let's go over these in detail to help you understand how to manage them properly. Sodium, salt. Sodium is composed of sodium and chloride, and excessive sodium intake can worsen hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and kidney problems. In kidney disease patients, reducing sodium intake is crucial to lower the amount of sodium they consume. For individuals with a glomerular filtration rate, GFR, of 60 or lower, with conditions like proteinuria, hypertension, or edema, the recommended sodium intake is 3 to 5 grams per day, which is equivalent to 1.2 to 2 grams of sodium. It's important to note that excessively low sodium diets less than 3 grams of salt per day lack sufficient evidence and can be difficult to maintain long-term. This can lead to poor appetite and nutritional deficiencies, so it is generally not recommended. The goal is to reduce sodium intake while maintaining adequate energy and nutrient intake. The reason why reducing sodium is emphasized is that without conscious effort, people tend to exceed the recommended daily amount of 5 grams. Therefore, it's essential to adopt strategies to reduce sodium intake sensibly. Practical tips to reduce sodium intake: check food labels when buying packaged items to monitor the sodium content per serving. Cook without adding much salt, and only add small amounts of salt when serving the food, allowing you to control the intake. Avoid drinking broths that are high in salt. Minimize the consumption of processed foods such as ham, canned goods, and other instant or preserved items. Soak seaweed in water to remove excess salt. If eating kimchi, try to prepare it without salt, or limit consumption to 4 to 5 pieces per day. Use other seasonings like garlic, ginger, onion, curry, vinegar, or lemon to add flavor instead of salty condiments like gochujang or soybean paste. Enjoying food is important, and for those without hyperkalemia, high potassium levels, using low-sodium salt or low-sodium soy sauce in cooking can be a good option. However, avoid using monosodium glutamate, MSG, as it contains sodium, and be cautious about using baked goods made with baking soda, which may require special attention. Some people use a salinity meter to adjust the salt content in soups. While this can help make food less salty, the key factor to remember is the total sodium intake, so even if the food has a low salt concentration, consuming large quantities may still result in high sodium intake. Initially, your food may taste bland, but over 2 to 3 weeks, your taste buds will adapt to the reduced salt. Therefore, Gradually reducing your salt intake without giving up can help you maintain a long-term, healthy diet. The second nutrient to focus on is protein. Too little protein can lead to nutritional deficiencies, while excessive protein intake can worsen kidney disease by increasing the production of uremic toxins and metabolic acidosis. For patients with chronic kidney disease before starting dialysis, it is recommended to consume 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. Obese individuals may end up consuming more protein than needed if they calculate based on their current weight, so it is better to use the standard weight based on height and age. The standard weight can be calculated using various methods, as shown in the diagram, but it is advisable to consult with your healthcare provider for the most accurate calculation. There are also studies on ultra-low protein diets, 0.3 to 0.4 grams per kilogram of body weight, but this should only be followed with the proper supplementation of essential amino acids and strict supervision by medical professionals, as malnutrition and an increased risk of death have been observed. If you are unsure of how much protein to consume, a simple way is to remember a protein exchange unit. 1 unit contains 8 to 9 grams of protein, which is roughly equivalent to a ball of meat, 1 block of tofu, 1 egg, or 2 tablespoons of beans. If an adult consumes the recommended daily calories, they will get about 18 grams of protein from rice. The remaining protein can come from side dishes. Typically, 3 to 5 units of protein are needed per day, divided into meals. People on dialysis or kidney transplant recipients, or elderly individuals with muscle loss, may require 6 to 10 units per day. It's important to consult with your healthcare provider to determine the appropriate protein intake based on your body type, nutritional status, and kidney function. Plant-based proteins such as tofu and beans are beneficial because they contain less phosphorus than animal-based proteins, and some studies suggest that they may help improve kidney function. However, it's not recommended to rely solely on plant-based proteins. A balanced intake of both plant-based and animal-based proteins is ideal. The third nutrient to manage is potassium. When kidney function declines, potassium excretion decreases, which can cause potassium levels in the blood to rise, leading to hyperkalemia. The danger of hyperkalemia is not just worsening kidney function but also potentially causing serious heart arrhythmias or muscle paralysis. Some people mistakenly avoid potassium-rich foods, fearing they will worsen kidney disease. However, studies have shown that adequate potassium intake in the general population or those with mild kidney disease can prevent hypertension, kidney disease progression, stroke, and even death. Therefore, if you do not have hyperkalemia, there is no need to completely avoid potassium. In mild kidney disease, potassium supplementation may be necessary, and some patients may wonder if potassium should be taken in pill form. However, the exact amount of potassium supplementation needed and the best form of potassium has not been fully determined. Excessive potassium intake through supplements may cause kidney dysfunction, and caution is needed about additives used in supplements. Potassium-rich fresh foods, such as fruits and vegetables, are recommended because they provide fiber and other beneficial nutrients. Hyperkalemia is more likely to occur in patients with poor kidney function, especially those with a GFR below 15 milliliters per minute, stage 5, or below 30 milliliters per minute, stage 4, particularly if they are taking medications like ACE inhibitors or ARBs, or have comorbid conditions like diabetes or metabolic acidosis. Therefore, it is important to check your kidney function and potassium levels regularly to manage your health effectively. Be cautious with organ meats, fish, and dairy, as these contain higher amounts of phosphorus. After managing your protein intake, you can enjoy other foods high in phosphorus in moderation, as long as you keep your blood phosphorus levels within normal ranges. Limit or avoid high phosphorus foods like milk, cheese, yogurt, processed foods, ice cream, and snacks. Instead of dairy, consider using soy milk or other dairy alternatives in moderation. Be cautious with processed foods containing additives, and choose natural foods when possible. As for nuts like soybeans and almonds, they contain around 20 to 30% of phosphorus that can be absorbed by the body. So, you don't necessarily have to avoid them completely, but if managing hyperphosphatemia is difficult, it may be helpful to reduce your intake gradually. For individuals with severe hyperphosphatemia, chronic kidney disease, or those on dialysis, your healthcare provider may prescribe phosphate binders to help manage phosphorus levels, and this can be taken with meals. Managing phosphorus intake should be done by monitoring your blood phosphorus levels and adjusting your diet in consultation with your healthcare provider. Remember that monitoring trends over multiple tests is important, not just a single measurement. Aside from the nutrients discussed, it's also important to maintain a calorie intake of 25 to 35 kilocalories per kg of body weight daily, and for those with diabetes, food choices should be made based on blood sugar levels. Reducing the intake of trans fats is also recommended. There is no single food or supplement that will improve kidney function on its own. It's important to consider all nutrients carefully and work with your healthcare provider to adjust your diet regularly. Balanced eating is key to maintaining good health and quality of life while preventing unnecessary harm from improper dietary practices.